All right, let's get started. Would love to hear from our speakers for today, Arsh and Shubham.
So, love being a techie, I love to participate in hackathons, participate in competitions, and motivate people to do the same. So, this is something that I have been doing for the past 1.5 years, and have grown a community of more than 3 lakh people on across platforms.
Thank you so much, Arsh. Shubham, would you like to go next?
So this is Shubham. I have a YouTube channel called Train with Shubham, also known as DevOps Wale Bhaiya. I am working as a remote software engineer. So I'm working from India, but for UK.
Thank you, both of you. All right, so we've gotten together to talk about how much importance does your college education have in your career journey? What can you do so that you can put your best foot forward? We've heard in college of mass hirings with companies like Infosys, and right now we're also hearing about mass layoffs. What we're hearing in that is that the tech industry, there is clearly a need, but there is also a training period when you join companies like Infosys. So there is also a gap that is there between college and the job market. So, what I would love to know is what do you learn in college and what do you need in the real world? What's the difference? Where is the gap?
So there's a lot of skill gap. So here to just share my story. I was in my third year of engineering and I struggled a lot to get an internship. The interview questions are asked in for the internship versus what we are taught at college. And I realized that the more skills you add, the more projects you add, and think from an industry perspective that what's happening in the industry, be it programming languages like Python, JavaScript, or virtualization tools, Docker, Jenkins. So these things are not taught at your college level. They that happens in the industry or the internship or job level. So that kind of awareness is missing in the college, according to me. So yeah, I think the more aware you are at the college level, the better it starts getting for you. So my internship was the eye opener.
I see that curriculum is something that needs a little change. When I talk about curriculum change, the computer fundamentals is very important, but they're not learning is required in the industry. The topics are same. Like if I talk about me as a software engineer, so all those concepts of operating systems, all those concepts of object-oriented programming, so each and everything is something that I need in my day-to-day life here. But they were not taught in a way they should have been taught. At the end, if you wish to progress in your career, if you wish to get a great start, you will have to work on your own. You will have to learn those skills. It is always that skills are greater than degrees.
So, I think you've given us a great point to move into the next part of the discussion where there is a gap, there's a skill gap, there is a gap in the curriculum. But now, how do you close it?
When I was in my third year of engineering in computer science, we were taught in such a way that semester one is C, semester two is C, semester three is Java, semester four goes to microcontrollers. And basically, when I went to third year, the requirement was JavaScript, which was not at all taught. I was not able to crack any internship that came along my way. But later on, the people who were actually in the clubs of college, for example, there was a club called V Coders. So these guys had some knowledge about how JavaScript works or how Python works or what is a database, how is a website hosted. And I basically got in touch with these guys that, hey, please tell me also, मुझे भी अपने team में लो ना please. And they actually gave me a lot of exposure to what is GitHub, where how code is shared, how basically you write a code which actually works, how do you deploy a website. And with that kind of project, I mailed a lot of companies that, hey, this is my GitHub repo, this is my profile, this is my project, and please help me get a job or something like that. And I actually got a response from one or two recruiters out of 800. And yeah, that's how I bridged the gap. So that was not taught in college, but what helped me was the peers who actually had some knowledge of coding, some knowledge of product development or project building. So yeah, that things are not taught in college. But yeah, your peers, the projects you do, the skills you acquire on the way, that actually helps.
Got it. And Ash, what about you?
I was from an electronics and communication background, so forget anything would have been taught in college to what I'm actually working right now. There are a lot of you might see a lot of graduates in electronics or circular branches who are looking forward to their career in IT companies. But for them, the challenge is they need to maintain their curriculum as well as CGPA. Along with that, they need to prepare for those product-based companies that they aspire to be in. Coming from this background, I totally understand their pain. Like they do have to maintain both of these things together, but it's all about prioritization, how you prioritize things over another. Like for some people, working like studying along with coding works. For some people, let's say they study at the last hour, last night before the exam, and they get good marks. So it depends upon from person to person what works for you. You need to identify what is good or what is bad for you. I was free in college, so I started exploring out what thing would work, how I could improve my skills. So I started putting out cold emails to people. I did an internship with ISRO. That was through a cold email thing. Like I got email IDs of various computer scientists at ISRO, and I emailed them, telling them that I am skilled at this and this, and I wish to do an internship with ISRO. Like I mailed to around 15 to 20 people. Out of those, I got one reply. Then after that, I got into conversation. I have had interviews there and was selected for internship and did an internship with ISRO. Then I got in touch with a company in Japan. So it was a startup. They were building something for data science. I again that was through reaching out on LinkedIn. So I was putting out content across on LinkedIn. So somebody from the team noticed that I was doing something here in India and the Epic region, and they wanted to have some perspective. I got on a call, and they again offered me an internship there. I went to my final year. I participated in ton of hackathons that were conducted. Like I was offered a pre-placement offer by American Express also in one of the hackathons. There are a lot of opportunities. It is you who will have to take that initiative. First thing that you need to be is aware. Second thing is you need to just give a go ahead. It's not every time you will win. It's more of every time you try, there is a small chance that you can win. So we need to struggle hard for that small chance.
That's a really beautiful sentiment, Ash. So I'm sure since both of you are also from tier two, tier three colleges, and you must have had like a whole cohort of students who are with you. What have you seen other people do that has worked?
Okay. So one thing which I saw, which a lot of people are doing right now, is getting some certifications, and basically every certification has a project, and basically they learn, they build something and they push it to social media. For example, you got a skill, you learned Python, you learned Django, you learned web development. Now you made a project and you demonstrated to your friends, to your faculty members in college and things like that. But you did not make a small PDF saying that these are step one, do this, step two, do this, step three, do this, and post it on LinkedIn. LinkedIn algorithm picks the PDF part really well. Now, you did not create a thread saying that this is how I build my first website and post it on Twitter. So Twitter algorithm picks that very well. Or you did not make a YouTube channel saying that make good projects in less than 10 minutes. So YouTube picks that really well. So instead of you looking for a job, they look for you, which I think helps a lot.
I totally agree. Speaking out in public and doing things in public can get you eyes of recruiters as well as people who are in tech. Like if you're a college student, try sharing your learnings. Try putting out content that you feel that would add value to others who are there on the platform. So this network that you build, so that will ultimately help you. You might not know what works, which particular connection might be able to get you that internship, or which particular connection might be able to help you in some way or another. So first thing is networking, that is very important. Second thing is being active on communities so that you don't miss out on opportunities. You need to apply to each and everything, whatsoever you feel like. Even if you're not confident ki you will be able to make it or not, but giving it a try doesn't make a difference. So don't miss out on opportunity. Just give it a try.
Yeah, thank you so much, Arsh and Shubham, for sharing. I think really valuable insights there on how techies can actually approach their first few years in their career. I think now we know what the gap is, how to prep for it. My next question is now, how do you know where to go? There are so many companies out there, but how do you know which one? I would love to hear what do you do when you have to apply for a company?
So a lot of companies came to our college, and there was a senior of mine. He had told me that you should be doing your internships and first companies in a startup so that you get a lot of skills and things like that, and then you switch to MNC. So back in 2018, which I'm talking about. So there was one startup called CoinDelta, which is which was a competitor of WazirX, if you have heard. It's a cryptocurrency exchange. In 2017 December, Bitcoin was a hot topic. Everyone was talking about Bitcoin. Also, they require Python, which I have. The founder was, I think, 23 years of old age, and of IIT basically. And during the interview only, I got a vibe that okay, this is a culture which I'm looking for. That these are really good guys and they know what they're doing. Plus, I'm directly talking to the CEO of the company. So first thing, I look for culture. Second thing, what kind of people are working there. Third, is it a trending technology? So Bitcoin was trending, people were of similar age, and they were growing. So yeah, that's how I chose my first company.
Great. And Arsh, what about you?
People talk a lot about work culture. What I feel is like if you're a fresher, so work culture place this work life balance should not be a problem for you because you are in the very start of your career and you have just started learning things. So your intent should be focused upon learning rather than work-life balance. So you will have a time when you should focus upon work-life balance, let's say after 5 years, 10 years in the industry. So what I look for in companies is, let's say if I talk to the team that I'll be recruited in, so what kind of tech they would be working upon, what is the kind of like how do they innovate, whether the company culture is open, whether I can talk to people across all the hierarchy across all the hierarchies. So that is something that I would consider. Like I could give my inputs and that would be valued rather than just me doing some work that has been assigned. So the company that gives you a chance to innovate, the company that gives you a chance to learn, you should try looking for more teams. You should like the company that is more liberal in giving you the type of work that you like. Company that is more liberal in making, which helps you to switch teams. Let's say want to move from one team to another, you can do that. So that is something that you should consider apart from compensation. But this is something that I look for in a company.
Thank you for sharing. What I would love to move to is what would be a few tips that you would like to give to all the techies who are to build like a really this great career for themselves?
One thing which I would like to summarize is be visible. Be visible in anything that you do. So I have seen students in their first years who have read notes of C++ or DSA or anything that they learned in college, and they have put it on LinkedIn. Now, if a creator or if a teacher or a recruiter likes that post, basically that is circulated in their network as well. So LinkedIn is a good platform to give you the boost, which basically whatever you want to showcase, you can. So being a student, make the best use of LinkedIn. Second, projects and skills that would help you a long term. So I still have the project in my resume which I made in 2018, because that project is open source. Every day someone forks that project, I get to say that okay, I have, or maybe someone stars that project, I have 200 stars on GitHub. Every day I can say that, because that's something, time investment, which is giving me returns till now. Give a lot of time in your college to your projects, to your skills. Learn trending skills like Python, JavaScript, and how to write emails. Hello, don't just say hello, hi, any HR's a DM. Give your skills, give your purpose, give your call to action, which means please get back to me or let me know if you can have a discussion. Learn all these skills from YouTubers, from mentors, from people who have actually done that.
Thank you, Shubham. Arsh,
Uh,
yeah.
the idea that should remain in your mind is skill building. Try looking out for what will take you 1 inch closer to your goal. Fix a goal, and it's important to fix a goal. The first thing that can help you break into tech is good problem solving. That is very important. Try, as Shubha mentioned, try creating good projects, try interacting with people, try collaborating with people, have that good circle of friends, that network of friends with which you can give contests together, that after your contest you can discuss with them what all problems you face, why you were not able to solve this problem. So that culture, that collaborative network culture is something that you will find, like you say now, what is the difference between IITs or other tier 3 tier 4 college? It's just that network and that people are more aware in IITs. It's nothing else. Like here everything, studies, everything is same. It's just that network that they build and people are generally more aware. That is something that you can do in your college. Again, ending on the same note, no more fears. It's all skills. So as early as you are aware, as early as you start doing things, you can overcome this gap between these fears.
Thank you so much and for summing it up so well, Arsh. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you, Arsh. Thank you, Shubham. Thank you for tuning in. That's all from episode 1 of Wake Up Shake Up. See you all on the next episode coming soon.